welcome to another video. I have to film this really quickly because I'm doing this before work because it's the only time I'm going to have any daylight and I've got a little bit of time to spare, only a little bit of time to spare, so I'm going to do this really quickly. I need to film my February wrap-up. It's like the middle of March. When is it? It's the 7th of March and I still haven't filmed my February wrap-up, so I'm going to do that really quickly now. Literally really quickly. Whew. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things I think I read in February. Sounds about right. Let's go. The first thing I finished in February was The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, and oh my goodness, I fell in love with this. This was my first 5-star read of the year. I loved it. I will say, like, it potentially could have been faster, like it was quite slow paced, but I loved it, and the fact that it was a polar fantasy, like, I loved it. The magic was amazing. I really enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the, like, slower discovery of the magic. I've been meaning since I finished this to pick up the second one, and I haven't yet. I should do that soon. I've got the second one up on my shelf, but then that means you've got to wait like a year for the third one, so we'll see where I sit with that. But I adored this book, and if you haven't read it, I thoroughly recommend it. Next up, if anyone's familiar, I did my, like, 2 days of reading as much as I can vlog thing, where I had 2 days off work and read as much as I can, so you would have already seen these. But the first one is Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell. Again, I really loved this. I gave this one 4 stars. I've heard more mixed reviews about this one, but that didn't stop me from loving it. So, meh. People said that it's boring and slow and they didn't care for it, but I didn't find it boring or slow and I did care for it. In fact, I thought it was quite fast-paced and I liked the characters an awful lot. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't anything too serious and hard-hitting, but admittedly it was more political than I thought it was going to be. With the whole magic is a con game thing on the back, I was kind of expecting it to be a lot more performance magic, and it wasn't. It was more to do with this magical culture and the politics there and stuff, so although it wasn't what I quite expected it to be, I ended up really enjoying it, and personally don't understand all those people that don't. Following on from that, again, if you watched the 2-day vlog thing, you would have seen, but I picked up Shadow Black. I very rarely pick up books in a series one after another. I just don't, but with this I did, because I was just so in this world that I had to. So I did. And again, I really loved it. New characters are introduced alongside the old ones in this one. It was fun, it was dangerous, there was stuff going on, but it was almost like a completely detached story. But again, I really enjoyed this one. I gave this one 4 stars as well, and I can't wait for the third one. Really can't wait for that. Next up was mine and Jess's buddy read for the month. Me and Jess tend to do a buddy read, at least one buddy read a month, and our one for February was The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I really enjoyed this as well. I gave this one 4 stars. I'm not really a contemporary person, so there's that involved in there, but obviously you can't ignore, you can't ignore this book, can you? You can't. I'm not gonna delve into that, but I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Obviously the message is very strong and hard-hitting, and I do recommend it. If you haven't read it, you read it. But I don't think there's anything I could possibly say about this book that you haven't already heard. So if you're like me and you don't like contemporaries, I would still recommend it. Admittedly, the first, like, quarter of it, I found the language difficult to get into, but I still gave it 4 stars overall, and I really enjoyed it and would recommend it. Then was, oh, just before that actually, was the audiobook for The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I gave this one 4 stars as well. I had a really good reading month this month, and nothing was below 4 stars. This was just fun and adventurous and just what you want from an audiobook, I suppose. I downloaded it while I was doing my 2-day thing because whilst I wasn't reading, I needed to still be reading, and I'm really glad that I picked this one. I've heard really good things about it and I agree with everything that I've heard about it. It's really fun. I really recommend it if you haven't read it. Then I picked up Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. This was difficult. It was good. It was good. It was not much. It was I gave it 4 stars, and I have done a book babble on this. If you want to really understand my thoughts on that, I think watching the book babble is a good idea. I did enjoy it. but there's nothing serious about this. It is fun. This is my idea of like a fluffy contemporary, even though it's not a contemporary, it's still like a fantasy novel, but it was so light-hearted and fluffy and nothing serious. This is my idea of a light read, which again is just what I needed because I just had 2 days of reading constantly and I just needed something light and fluffy. Also, I read this whilst I had tonsillitis, so it took me ages because I had tonsillitis, but I enjoyed it in the end and I gave it 4 stars. And then crammed in at the end of the month, I read Giant Days Volume 2. I really enjoyed Volume 1, I really enjoyed Volume 2. I have been reading these on my iPad on the Kindle app, and honestly I got to the end of this one and it felt like I'd only been reading for 10 minutes because I just got so into it and it's so fun and quirky and lighthearted and nothing serious, and I just got to like the end in no time at all and really want to pick up Volume 3 now. So yeah, I gave that one 4 stars as well. I believe I gave it 4, yeah. So there we go. Really quick February wrap up for you. I know it's a little ways into March now. I have actually already finished 3 books in March, so there's that, but you'll hear more about them at a later date. And yeah, that's that. I'm going to leave it at that. If you've read any of these books and want to talk to me about these books, then please drop it down in the comments. If you want to give this video a thumbs up, I appreciate it. And if you aren't subscribed and fancy subscribing, I'm always eternally grateful for that. I upload every Sunday and Wednesday and some days in between if I'm feeling generous. And I will see you next time. Bye!